Hello, and welcome to PlayStation Unchained. I am once again your host, Neil Bolts, and we are here to talk about all things PlayStation and a lot of stuff that isn't, mostly before we start the show, which is why we're starting late. You won't know that because you'll listen to a recording. I am joined by a ragtag team of opinionated people who like to talk, and Ben.
Yay!
Who likes to talk, but, you know, he's friendlier in that regard, I think. That's more what I was meaning. I just realised that sounded quite awful to you. But sorry.
It's fine.
It's fine. But yes, yeah. This man faces great beasts in a twisted version of reality every day, and he also lives in Scarborough. Yes, it is Ben Shitterbill.
Hey man, how are you doing today?
Splendid, splendid. It's the beginning of the school holidays.
Oh,
so
yay.
So, unlike that bit in The Shining where Jack Nicholson's in his dressing gown just sat on the bed staring into space more and more menacingly.
But anyway, we started a bit late because I've tried to move ourselves from shitty Skype to Discord. So I'm trying to record it with OBS to try and improve our audio quality some more.
Which we'll see. I mean, you'll still have to put up with our voices, which of course not the general quality as it is, but you get it. Also joining us, he is the furriest ball of shame this side of Sonic 06. It's Chris DeVissa.
and what a furry ball of shame I am. Oh man. How are you guys doing?
Splendido. Yourself?
Awesome. I am fantastic today. It's a beautiful day today. Hot as shit outside, but I'm in an air-conditioned room playing Overwatch and talking to you guys, so, couldn't be better.
That's really,
I wish I was playing Overwatch.
Oh, way to be invested in the podcast there, Ben.
Oh, I'm completely... I can multitask. I can do two things.
No,
anything else, like, if you want me to balance
I can vouch
plates,
for it, that's a lie.
I'm charging my controller, so I thought I'd take this time.
I've only got two hands, Gary. Come on.
I've only got 1-2 hands.
Head. You have a head.
To be fair, Chris, if it's the weekend, you don't have any hands.
Yeah.
I don't. I don't have any handle on anything either.
I was going to say it's all paws.
No, that's a lie as well.
What depends? Yes. What is a handle on? What is the?
That could be quite a tail, Neil.
Depends.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. Anyway, let's keep introducing people. He's the butt of many jokes, but that butt has so much padding for the punishment. So it's the kink of ours. It's Gary Bangasera.
Yes.
Is that a fat joke?
I mean, if you want it to be, that's fine.
More cushion for the pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'm here to take the brunt of the punishment. So
Like I said, got that pattern. You can take it.
You're Meg, Gary. You're basically a lightning rod for shit.
Yeah.
I do not want to see that lightning rod.
I'm so kidding. I love you so much. You are my best friend, and I would totally marry you and do other stuff with you. So please don't. I'm totally joking, Gary. Whatever you want to do to me later as punishment is fine.
I'm on this podcast.
While on the podcast, sure.
I deserve this.
And rounding us off, this news hits as hard as the one who floored Rob. Only his words are the punchy thing in this regard. It's Tim News.
Hi. Oh, hi.
Hi. Oh, hi. Okay. Sorry, no name pun this week. That was just, I thought I'd go a little different. And,
Not a bad E for effort.
All I know is I was like, where is Neil? And I realised he's renamed himself to the saddest balloon.
I am the saddest balloon. The saddest of balloons. Sorry, that's a New Japan thing, if anyone gets it. So yes, it's another week of guess not. Well, no, that's why everyone was like, well, type Rainmaker into chat. No one seemed to understand me, so that was fine. It's fine.
Nobody understands me.
Nobody understands the trouble I've seen.
Nobody knows my sorrow. Do something more upbeat.
Video games!
Lovely bunch of coconuts. Yes, video games. I've got a lovely bunch of video games too.
Well, sure, there have been video games this week. I think, in the interest of time this week, we're not really going to go newsy unless anyone has anything in particular they want to talk about.
I don't think there really has been anything particular that... Oh, did you know that the company Game, for some reason, have decided, man, we're going bankrupt and we're dying in a business that exists that sells video games in physical stores that people don't really buy anymore because of Amazon. You know what we need to invest into and to improve our stores? Physical magazines! Because that makes sense. So we've now started to print magazines to promote video games, and by promote we mean advertise game, as a free magazine that you can pick up in store. Because nothing says kill us faster like invest into something that's already dying, as well as the fact that you're dying.
See, these freedoms are what your new Overwatch champions are fighting for.
Yes.
Big up the London Massive!
The London Massive, all the way from the east.
All the way from Korea.
I'm sorry. That was a terrible segue. I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to jump on your tail like that.
Well, no, by all means.
You could say it was over the top.
Yes, it was.
Of course, you're gonna jump on the tail, Chris.
I said,
Well, I mean, you tell me how else to stop things running away from you with a tail.
Ask nicely. Don't be a creep.
with some cheese?
Want some cheese, little guy?
So yeah, well with this whole talk of video games. The Overwatch League finished with London Spitfires being the champions. London Spitfires being the pride of Britain, as every player is actually part of the Korean team, naturally. But then, considering how dominant they've been in the World Cups of Overwatch, they might as well just have every team full of Korean players.
It's coming home. It's coming home.
Don't chant that too.
Overwatch
That's how you
is
start
coming
this thing.
home.
Don't jump on that gun.
It's just great. I just don't see the point of naming it after countries. I mean, I get it with like other sports like football and that way. Yeah, okay, it's a multinational game now, but it took many years to get to that point. it's like whereas here it's like, yeah, we started this brand new league this year, and straight away we're going to completely just destroy the point of having countries. It just.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm hoping
Isn't
that
that
next
beautiful?
year that someone just names their team the Moons.
Mm.
The Moon. Why not? I mean,
Oh yes. Oh, the logo design for that is going to be fantastic. Any designers out there, if this ever happens, yes, you know what you're going to do. It's going to be a butt.
It's Jupiter versus Uranus versus the Moon.
Everything's always against my end.
Better, at least it's not in Uranus.
At least.
Uranus is taking a beating.
I mean, let's be fair. That'd be more frustrating a bit with against it rather than in it. So
Yeah.
The United States Uranuses.
It's like you get
that's
me.
the team I want to see.
I don't, because considering the creativity they have at Blizzard, surely they could have thought of something a bit more original, but and just going with this is London this and that. Yeah, that's just me.
And then the announcer could say, Uranuses are taking a pounding in this match. It'd be glorious.
Uranus looks sore this round.
It's perfect for the considering it is just the sort of people who would laugh at that, so it's fine.
Yes, like me.
Uranus, don't cock it up.
Okay.
Don't cock up Uranus.
God damn it.
Uranus is shit talking right now.
I was fine until that. That's just stupid. Oh my god.
I know, and I apologize
I love
for nothing.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Oh, ass.
So when Team Saturn are circling Uranus. We'll know all about
And
it.
I wonder why we haven't ever been invited to some sort of Blizzard event.
It might be the whole fuck Activision thing that we've
That's true. Fuck Activision.
What? No, that can't be it.
Well, in that case, the principles and standards apply, so I think we're fine.
Yeah, that's fine. I get it. I accept that. It's fine. I don't care anyway anymore. So.
See, they should name the teams like after characters in the game. You know, we could have the trashy tracers, or
Can I be the Widowmaker?
The dandy Widowmakers.
the ghastly Genjis.
Anyway, that's probably too much time on that subject.
Yes.
There's not much. Onrush's developer Evo used to be Evolution Studios, hit by massive layoffs, and the result after that game, unfortunately, did not sell very well at all.
It sold 2 copies, and Neil bought both of them.
I didn't even buy it, to be fair. I got sent the review copies, but no.
Oh.
I mean, the bad thing here is Onrush is a fantastic game, and the problem is they didn't market it at all right. And again, it comes to this thing of, yeah, let's blame the people who put their heart and soul into the game, not the people who just didn't bother to put any effort into making it, shine out there and say, yeah, look, let's explain exactly what this game is. Let's advertise it. Didn't.
So it's another Gearbox, basically.
Yeah, Codemasters tend to be quite all right with their driving games in that regard, but I was saying this last week. Driving game fans tend to be very much in one camp, and that I want to talk about the changes in gear pressure and fucking engine size and shit like that, and I will bore your bollocks off with the talk of different drive shafts, and which in itself should sound titillating, but it isn't.
Try me, Neil. Try me one day. We'll see.
I don't know, man, because I'm not one of those people, so I can't talk to you about it.
Oh, get my hopes up like that and then dash them. I see how it is.
Right, you're just bringing up balls and shafts, and that's what you're going to do.
All I know is that you've got to make sure you get a firm grasp on it and just shove it in the right direction. You're perfectly fine.
You got to make sure it gears at the right time.
Yeah, I'm a natural, apparently.
Yeah, if you don't put the right amount of pressure on, you could do some serious damage.
Yes.
This is true. We are still talking about.
Also, make sure your safety's ready.
I think that's a gun.
I think that's a gun. Brilliant.
I blame Drive Club for all this.
Well, yeah. Again, of course, Evolution Studios was made Drive Club and had that fucked up.
If they would have just stuck and made a Motorsport for the PS4 or MotorStorm, they would have been just fine.
Yeah, but it's what Sony at the end of the day, isn't it? They'll say, we want something to sort.
They said how much they wanted Drive Club. They wanted to make Drive Club over MotorStorm.
They did.
I think the problem there was they were releasing a realistic racing game in a genre that's essentially with realistic racing games.
I think if it had come later in the generation, I think it would have been fine. I think it came at a strange time.
Hey, at least it's not an Xbox where the genre's flooded by just the same game anyway.
Yeah, it's like if you like racing games, we got 2 or 3 from the same tip.
Well, excuse me. I mean, market aside, the biggest problem is, and it's apparently the biggest problem in the industry right now is, people are scared of getting into the video game industry, and I tried to get in at it. Gary and I, little history about us. We both have degrees in game design. So we've tried to get into the market. It's flooded. People are afraid. And then when they hear company, they put out a game. Awesome, is it? And then they all get laid off. There's no job security in the industry anymore. It's a real big tragedy in the industry. And and as much as I love it, I also, for years now, have really hated what the gaming industry has become, both for all parties. Employers, people who love games for the sake of games. It's really bad, and things need to be done to help it, but that's in the realm of paying attention to who you're buying from, what paying attention to who's making your games, voting on issues that matter about, employment and technology advancement and the industry related to these games. We could go in all day about that, but that's my biggest takeaway and my biggest problem from this whole Codemasters thing. And it's a real tragedy that these, people like us shouldn't have to endure, but here we are.
It's once again showing that there should be a union for video game development. It really shouldn't be coming to this all the time where it's normal that a team gets thrown about. I mean, obviously Codemasters put out a statement that basically said that, it's normal for this to happen. It's like, and then of course retracted it and said they were misheard, and basically said it's normal for change instead. But no, the fact is it is very normal, in air quotes, for this sort of thing to happen, and it shouldn't.
And yeah, that's the real shame about it. So I don't know.
That's it. And Codemasters knew that Onrush wasn't going to be a traditional racer. That it wasn't a racer at all. It's closer to SSX Tricky than it is a racing game. In terms of it's about style and skill and with a bit of Destruction Derby-esque smashing about in it. And
nice.
They knew that risk. They knew that risk going in. They knew what that potentially be a tough sell, and they didn't back it clearly. So they're the ones at fault. They're the ones that have said, we've put our necks out to make this game happen, and it's failed. Who was at fault? Is it the people who went out and made the exact game they wanted? And yes, maybe that's not for everyone, because people clearly went into it thinking they were getting a racer and reviewing it with that in mind, and then going, well, that's what I want. So
yeah.
But then, they made the game as it was, as they wanted to, and I think it's a very good game for what it is. It's a little light on content, but they've promised that was coming. That was the whole point. They mentioned that from the start. Stuff will keep coming, and that is very much the way of it with many games these days. Going for the game to a service. But,
and see, isn't that the tragedy though? Is that I haven't played it yet, but you say it's a good game. At the end of the day, that's what these designers are trying to create, and if they've created a good game, awesome. That's good, yeah. But it's just that's the real tragedy is that there was just. I think it was a combination of things. I don't like to attribute things like this to any one thing. I think it's a combination of things, though. I think you are right, Gary. You are right, Neil. All of this kind of led to this problem. So I say, like, as an industry, as a whole, let's try not to let this happen again. Let's move to better things and people. Sure.
So we'll have this conversation in February when Anthem fails and BioWare gets shut down.
Awesome! I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, but we
no, I'm not.
We're not shocked that's going to happen. So
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, see, this was classic EA stuff when that got brought out the other week about that, where they said, "Oh no, if it fails, it'll be the end of BioWare." It's like, no. We know it won't be the end of BioWare. We just know what it means when you fail. It means your company will be bled into other departments.
Yes.
It will be effectively dead, but the name will still be there. Like Criterion still exists, but none of the people who work there now are the people that made Burnout, really, what it was.
Right.
You knew the same with Visceral. At the point of its death, it was being run by people who made completely different games. And they were doing Battlefield Hardline, for crying out loud, instead of Dead Space. So that's the fate you get. Not that you'll be dead straight away. It's they'll slowly kill you off by just dwindling you out. It's like,
have you seen that comic meme where it's just like, where are we going today, Papa EA? Oh, I'll show you. And then he sees like the dead bodies of Visceral and Pandemic and like all those Westwood Studios Bullfrog. What do you do? He puts the gun to the back of his head and it's like some twisted, tormented version of Mice and Men.
You remember the Konami story about high-level employees and
yes,
like that? It's like a very American version of that, where it's just like, right, we don't really want to go sending like the big guys to do mopping the floors or anything, but what we will do is slowly dismantle the company by taking people here, there, and everywhere, and having the name value like that, and that's basically what it is. They'll go make them work on stuff they don't want to be working on by comparison. And that's as bad as mopping the fucking floor. You know,
yeah, and I get it, but the work like that at those companies like that, that's the kind of work that pays the bills from the guys who have the money. You bet your ass if Disney goes to EA and says, "Hey, we want you to make an entire Hannah Montana." Say, "Oh well, I'm dating myself just a little bit here. I don't know what's cool now." I'm only 33, and I don't know what the fuck is cool nowadays. I just games, God of War. That's cool. That's all I know. Anyway, sorry. But no, when they, those are the jobs that pay the bills, and to a degree, I like, speaking from a design perspective, I like the ideas of jobs like that because they, as a designer, it's good to be forced to think in a different way every now and then, all the time. So it's like, how can I make a Montana game good? And that's what they did, but
it's what you,
and whether it was good or not,
it's
what sells, though.
You would mix it with DDR. Like Britney's dance
exactly,
beat.
That's what they did. Yeah, and I guess it.
God, that ages me, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm glad somebody else is on the same page as me, but no, I just if they're gonna pay the bills, then yeah, but there's got to be, like you're saying, Neil, there's got to be some kind of unionized protection for these studios that can say, okay, well, this is what we're doing. You're going to put us in contract, blah blah blah, and actually get them out. But I don't know. I don't know. Tangentially related to jobs in the gaming industry, Jay Pinkerton, who was a writer for Portal 2, Team Fortress 2, and Left 4 Dead, has returned to Valve. Apparently.
Ooh.
We'll see. Maybe Half-Life 3 confirmed.
No.
Why? Why would you do that?
Because I'm an ass, and you know how. Funny.
You know what it'll actually be? It'll be like they're just about to write the Steam cards up.
Yes, he's come to write the deepest lore on Steam cards.
Yeah. There you
Fucking grimoires of the fucking soul.
And then they're gonna, what they're gonna do is they're gonna make these deep Steam card laws, and then they're gonna rip them out of Steam, and then they're gonna sell them as a separate book. Just like Destiny's Lore Grimoire.
And you know what? They wouldn't do it if it didn't work. But people buy it, so that's why they do it. And that's what I mean about some, responsibility.
To be fair, though,
I'm telling the companies what you want.
I'm tempted to buy the new Final Fantasy Lore book because they're doing the second one. And I'm only buying it because you get a funny hat in the game.
Oh my god.
You get, I
love it.
Final Fantasy 1, Matoya, the little old woman.
I don't know. I don't play Destiny at all. Sorry. Yes, I know I'm horrible.
No, you're not horrible. You're a sane human being.
I did. I really did give the first Destiny a college try. Gary and I both did.
I enjoyed Destiny 1. I enjoyed Destiny 1. I enjoyed Destiny 2, but nah. Warframe is better now, and it's free. Go download Warframe.
Again, Ben.
Yeah, we
there
did.
We go. I'm on my soapbox again about Activision. Outside of Blizzard, every time they make a fucking game, all it is let's mask how little content we have with an upfront amount of content, and that's it. People will think they're getting a lot, and by the time they realise they don't, it's too late. They've spent the time, spent the money, and they'll forget by the time the next one comes out, which clearly happened with Destiny 2. Only they got bored a lot quicker because they'd already gone through that cycle again. Like I said before, reading the story of Bungie and that move over to doing Destiny, how they were so happy to be out of the grasp of Microsoft and to do their own thing, and then the fucking nightmare it became making Destiny. You can see everything in that game of why that. Because they basically, anyone, again, this is a very Microsoft thing, everyone who was there that made the game, the Halo games, the famous stuff, had pretty much fucked off by the time Destiny came out because they left halfway through because they were changing everything around. So that's why it's not the same Bungie. It's a very different company.
It's like anyone who says, "Oh my God, Rare's making a new game." No, Rare's shell of it is.
I always want to punch people when they say that because it's like, come on. This isn't the fucking same rate. It's not the same fucking company. It's like Infinity Ward. It's not Infinity Ward. They're off making fucking Titanfall. It's like, why? Why would you think that?
Is there anybody from the old Rare development team still there, or is it all new people?
Maybe the janitors.
I think someone... I
was never good anyway.
Yeah, I think someone recently. But...
Rare had good games. I enjoyed Rare games. So we got from Rare some classics and some of my favorites.
Donkey Kong.
Having a Nintendo 64 was Battletoads. I know Battletoads Double Dragon.
GoldenEye.
I really like those ones. GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct. The two Killer Instinct games I absolutely love. The original two. I haven't had a chance to play the new one because it's on Xbox, but I loved the old Killer Instinct games. And Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie. Okay, that's my short list off the top of my head. But I liked those games, and I always thought Rare was good at making video games at that time. But I don't know. I don't know where they're at, obviously with Microsoft now. But
what do you guys think of the idea of I know we're not a Microsoft podcast, but what do you guys think of the rumor of the 2 new Microsoft consoles that are going to be announced?
Scarlet and Scarlet Ice Baby?
Scarlet Cloud.
Yeah, Scarlet Cloud. Well, yeah, that's one. I don't know. I don't know. It's.
I would actually be really tempted to invest if they've done the streaming stuff, because PS Now I've done is like I've used it. It's not too bad. If they've done the investments and the cloud version is cheap enough, I'd be tempted to buy it with my PS5. Get the cloud Scarlet and get a PS5.
It depends. At the end of the day, it depends what kind of games come out on it.
Yeah.
If by some miracle Microsoft actually does step up their game on console exclusives, and we see something great from Ninja Theory, and not just one game, but I mean, if they really step up their game, then I would consider doing that. But just for the sake of a streaming service with the same bullshit that we've got now, I don't know.
The rumored price is what? Sorry, go on now.
Yeah, you see. The problem with this, if it were to be true, is, again, Microsoft don't have a clear message. Their clear message recently has been, because Sony has this, and this, we're the one with the more powerful console. But now we're going to have the more powerful console and the weakest console.
Yeah.
It's more accessible one. So basically, our message is, we'll do whatever the fucking hell it takes to make money. It's like, we don't really have a plan. We don't have enough money to make games, but we'll make fucking 20 different versions of the same console. It's fine. And maybe one of them will stick, which is what it is at this point. It's just throwing consoles at a wall and hoping they stick. And guess what? They don't, because they made a fucking plan.
Most of the stuff they put doesn't sell well in Japan.
Or in Europe.
Sony and Nintendo sell well in Japan. Microsoft does not. It sells well in America. And that's not enough to...
And it doesn't sell in Europe either. It sells in the UK, but that's only because we'll buy anything that's cheap.
Yep.
Hookers, booze, clothes.
But no, the rumored price is it's like $99 for the streaming device.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's $99, I'd be tempted. Because that'd be like 79 quid.
No. Just...
Okay, so hold on. You give shit to PlayStation for $100 subscription for now, but for Microsoft it's okay?
Well, I pay for PS Now every so often.
Oh!
I'm just saying, everybody's giving shit that it's $100 a year. Sorry, a year.
No, $100 to buy the console. Nobody said how much it is for the subscription.
Oh, cool! I've got my console already, so I've got PS Now.
Yeah.
Fancy that.
Inherently, though, if you're a streaming only, that comes with, it has to be cheap because no guarantee it will work properly for you for a start.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said here before, we have very powerful internet here, but it dips up and down so badly that counts as a disconnection, even if it's like still 30 meg. It's so that alone would be like, oh, okay, so that's not working for you. It's just the area we live, Gary. Can't be helped, I'm afraid.
I don't get the point of creating a box that just streams your games. Why don't you just do it with all the TVs that are out there?
Because Microsoft still wants money.
Amazon, go partner with Google.
Because they want to be seen as the next step. They want to show people they're taking that next step.
They want to go, look at us, we've done something.
They just want to jump into what's cool right now, which is, Alexa and whatever the fuck
Echoes.
the Google one is.
The Google
They're
Echo.
doing.
People still fawn about
They just want a piece of the pie.
Yeah, people still fawn about iPhones and certain types of phones just because, inherently
they try to compete with the Zune.
Zune,
That failed
motherfucker, Zune.
They just go with what's trending and they release shit for it.
Hey, Bill, good to see you. Oh, what's listened up on my Zune? Oh, no, wait, I have a knife. Anybody else?
Zoom!
I love it, yeah. Freaking Zoom. Ben makes a good point, though, what he's talking about. If Microsoft has done their research, their marketing research, and this is their solution, like, hey, our marketing research says our customers want this.
Yeah.
And they market it to their customers and it sells well, then maybe that's the market that they can take hold of. It's super competitive, and Microsoft is trying to stay ahead. And you damn well sure they did marketing research to.
Because if it's cheap enough, I will buy both. Yeah, launch day. If I'm getting because there is some games I want. I'll admit that Halo.
There's some games I want, like Halo.
You just made the opposite point of why you want this, Ben. You made the opposite point of why you want this.
Ori and the Blind Forest. Ori and the sequel that I forgot the name of. That war game.
That war game. It's not called... I'm sorry, no. You can't have that anymore. They've taken the war out of the title now.
Time it comes out, you'll get to play Crackdown 3.
Wait, did they really? Is it just called Gears now?
Yeah, it's just Gears 5. It's just Gears 5.
Oh,
wow.
Fancy that.
I hear Jeremy Clarkson's in it. So
that'd be amazing. I would play a Gears of War game where all the narration is done by Jeremy Clarkson.
It couldn't be any less racist, I suppose. Alright.
What else? That was a good long tangent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was. That was good too. We made something out of something. That's for sure.
We are wizards.
God, what else? I suppose we could just go to the other stuff because we said we're trying to be quicker this week.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all there was in news this week.
Remember the new... I know it's Overwatch again, but remember the new hero launched on Overwatch this week?
I think we discussed that.
Hammond.
But yeah, Wrecking Ball, yes.
Wrecking Ball, yeah.
Yeah, so I haven't looked in this week to see him. So it's like
I really dislike him.
Mainly because so many other games had updates this week. And
like No Man's Sky.
Well, we'll be talking about that in a minute.
Yeah.
That conversation. Because I have been playing that among the many updates out this week. So.
Ooh, I'm curious to hear and read and learn.
Yeah. Well, yes. Well, you can read that from someone else. But I'm just...
I'm not typing up this entire podcast for you to read it, Chris.
No, don't we have a stenographer that can transcribe this?
If we could afford that, we could afford theme music. So
one first, then the other. We'll see what we can do.
That's it. One step at a time. That's it. So yeah, I suppose we will just go on to the games we've been playing. But before we do that, we'll do Predictions League. As we get to the end and start to rush it. I know I've told you guys anyway the results before, but tend to act shocked at the results.
I may not have listened to the results, so I will be shocked.
There you go then. So you totally get that. Right, sorry, I just had to move stuff across there. Right, so we had one in lieu because we were waiting for to actually get scored. It still didn't get any extra scores on PlayStation, so we went to the next platform along that had an average score, which was PC. That was for the Moose Man, and the average score was 79. I said 70. Tim said 61. Chris said 73. Ben said 100. And Gary said 85. So Gary and Chris were both 6 points out. So, yeah, they get half a punch for that one.
Yes.
Gains. The Persistence was next, which was last week. Yes, as you heard on last week's podcast, is very good. It got 79 in the end. Alfonso said 77, so close. Neil said 81. He's so close. Ben said 80, even closer. Chris, you were miles off, 69.
I tried, Tim. I tried to do the 69 for you.
Some people are just better than others.
Phrasing, yeah, you're better at 69 than I am, apparently.
Oh yeah,
I said that a long time ago.
Yeah, I told you that.
This is because Tim adds that extra 10%, and that extra 10% is what got him a perfect score on this. So there you go. He said 79, which was the score. 2 points for a perfect score. Then came the Banner Saga 3, which 87, very high, one of the highest of the year, in fact. Afonso said 78, Tim said 83, Chris said 84, Ben said 86. So close. Gary said 82, I said 87. Another on the point score. Hacks, yeah. It's like I'm mad. I looked at it thinking, no, it was me. I won the score. So let's see what's coming out this week, because we have to pick something for this week. Just the one, maybe, I think. Let's try 1979 Revolution Black Friday. That's what I'm going to go with, because it's an interesting looking game. Sorry, I've got to type out now. That's really great podcast material. So, let's go with it and say, Gary, what say you?
78.
78 for 1979. Tim?
Oh boy, 1979?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There you jump back in time.
This one. Would you say, Gary?
78.
Okay, I'm gonna say 71.
71.
I thought you were going to do the Price is Right bit. What was the last bit? 78. 79.
I'm gonna
No,
say.
I don't hate Gary, Chris.
True.
I'm gonna say 80. Chris.
79.
Damn it, Chris.
No, I'm kidding. I'll go 83.
83. Okay.
You're stealing my shit again. Like, it's not gonna work. You can't do it as well as I do.
No, I can't. What were you going to say, Gary? I want to hear what you were going to say to me.
You're a bitch for always bidding close to me.
So that leaves Ben.
Well, I'm going to go with 79.
Yes!
Just because it's in the game name. So,
Getting so close to me all the time.
yeah, but it's 1979. Therefore, I have to go with 79.
It's all that cushion, Gary. We want to get close to you.
You like it better when Ben gets close to you anyways than when I do. When I do, it's just uncomfortable and really hairy together. You and I are like Velcro, man. It's just
Okay,
So that's why you
there's
stick
a part of
together.
me there's a part of me that wants to see that. I'm ashamed.
I know which part it is too.
So do I.
It wasn't a hard choice to make.
Well, no, it was.
So interestingly, obviously this game came out on PC before, so we have a kind of vague idea. It's currently sits on 80 on PC. So
Ooh.
Means the console version will be worse.
Okay.
I should have gone with 19.
Man, I just seen Mission Impossible Fallout has got an 86 on Metacritic. For a film, that's amazing.
Is that like a rip-off of Fallout, but with Tom Cruise?
Well, clearly it works if that's the case. So, yeah. Can you do?
God, no.
And
now
now
Basilia
we're
doesn't
gonna-
just want modders to make their games, they want cinema makers to make their games.
I'm surprised I haven't seen already the Tom Cruise made in the Fallout 4 character creator yet. I haven't seen it. I've been waiting for it, and I'm not talented enough to do it. So if anybody out there can do it and wants to throw it on Reddit, I'm sure that'll be good karma for you this weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be there somewhere. Already out there in the ether. Okay, so yes, we're on to talking about games we're playing. We'll start with you, Chris. If that's all right.
Jeez, what have I been playing? Not really a whole lot this week. I've been playing a little bit of Overwatch, but I haven't really been in.
Yes.
Oh, you got a deep cough out of me there, Gary. Yeah, no, that's all I've been doing, but I haven't really been playing games much this week. I've been busy with other stuff, so I'll hop on for like a match or two. and then that's it. Like I haven't even got a loot box this week, so I'm just whatever. Don't care. But yeah, not really a big gaming week for me. Busy with a lot of other stuff, even though I've seemed to have a lot of energy today. So yeah, that's about it.
Cool, excellent. Ben?
I've been playing a bit of Final Fantasy as always. I've got back into Warframe really hard. I've reformatted my Necros twice now, so he's even better than he used to be.
Nice.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Some of the new mods you get from beating the early Sacrifice quest line is stupid. You get 3 different mods. Umbra Intensify, Umbra Vitality, Umbra Fiber. I know Vitality, if you max it out, can give you plus 770% health.
Yeah,
stupid.
They all sound like cereals to me.
Anyway, so I've been playing a bit of Warframe recently. And in between that, I've been streaming Warframe and Overwatch. I've been trying to stream every day, really. And I've also been playing a bit of Camp Bounce this weekend because it's free on PSN. Go check it out.
Yes,
so yeah,
it is.
well, it would have been free.
Yeah.
It's over by the time this goes live.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry you missed the free weekend.
It was good.
It was fun.
Cool. So I'll get my stuff out of the way, I suppose, because I was going to say I didn't think I'd have much to talk about this week originally because I'd been playing Far Cry 3 Classic to point of platinum, and that took up most of my week, to be honest. Still a great game to go into for most of it. Get to that second island, it does dip, and big fuck you to that penultimate mission again. Well, I suppose it's the final mission really, because it didn't really do anything else. But it's just that mission angered me somewhat. Just having rocket launchers fired at you from everywhere you can't see, just aggravating beyond all wild dreams. Still, did it, and it wasn't as bad as the last time of having to mop up with co-op. Awful co-op. So that was a big plus. I did go straight on to Far Cry 5 just after that, just to get the early stuff out of the way, so I set myself up for co-oping it later. And yeah, wow, that was a bit of a leap in terms of certain things, but also very familiar. So I look forward to more of that. Still not played enough to really gauge it properly, but it was fun. No Man's Sky, of course, had its big update this week, the next update, and I naturally had to go back in and check that out. And yeah, after Far Cry, that was the thing that really got me this week. I played so much of that. It's a bit weird because a lot of the stuff had changed around and that, but to get used to it, it's a bit more.
I also played a bit of No Man's Sky this week, but I had lost my save, so I had to start again.
Okay.
And trust me, if you're starting again, the game is ridiculously harsh at you for some reason. The first save, I started off on a toxic planet that I couldn't last more than 5 minutes because it'd kill me.
Yeah, I've heard a few stories like this.
Yeah, and then I restarted again, and it put me on another planet that was so hot that after about 10 minutes it killed me. It was just not good. They need to fix the starting planets.
Yeah, it's a strange one. Also, I think my save seemed it was either hours back from where I was, or the time had messed with, because it went from like being 50 something hours to 24, and I was like, okay, I know I definitely played more than. But everything's been jumbled around so much that you can't tell where you were anyway. So in that sense, it's good because you come back in and you're like, okay, well. I don't have to worry about remembering where everything is because it's all fucking been moved anyway. It's the update version of someone coming in and tidying your fuck your keys are. It just in video game form on a universal scale. But yeah, there's some really cool new stuff. It's very much easier to get into in a lot of ways once you do just get out of the hellhole. There's a lot more vicious planets in terms of that sense. There's also very much a Xenomorph-inspired alien race that's hanging around on planets now. like they have eggs and stuff, and
Yeah, which I met by accident.
yeah,
I like an egg. I wonder what that is. I'll try and kill it. Oh shit!
Yeah, and yeah, just like sort of several of these weird-looking buggers come out of the ground and start trying to attack you. That was fun. I did get my free freighter there, so I was happy.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and I actually saw another player, within about 10 minutes of playing.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's true. It definitely has multiplayer this time. Proper multiplayer. So yeah, it's been nice to get back into. You know, I have to say, there's definitely more emergent little stories coming through in it now. Like literally, the freighter thing comes from saving a freighter from pirates, and the captain basically just says, "You know what? I can't fucking do this. You do it." There you go. So you just gives it all that bit. Also, like, you know, just carrying stuff across, like a courier to other places, and getting into fights with pirates trying to steal your stuff, and yeah, it's just some really cool little moments happening, and it's nice to see it coming along like this. I can't remember where I put my base though, and that's why I think it's definitely cut back where my save was, because I definitely made a base the last time I was on it. That update happened, and yeah, that seems to have disappeared from the universe. They Thanos'd it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So overall, would you say the experience has improved then from what was released last year to obviously much criticism and outright hatred in some cases?
Yeah, well, I very much still liked what it was back then. But, just slight as it was, I did believe that they're going to keep adding to it, so that's fine. And like I said, I put a lot of time into that at the time. Came back
as a service.
Yeah, came back to it when new stuff gets updated, and this time, it's the first big amount of time I put into it.
It's kind of amazing though, in a way, because I know it's like, it's a game of service, but at the same time, it's been a game of service where every update's been free.
Yeah, I mean that's the common model that people criticise Grand Theft Auto 5 for. Though obviously that has paid trend stuff, but it releases all its updates for free. But people still whinge about, but you've got cash you've got to buy, and it's all really expensive. It's like
like that bottle of champagne that cost, what was it, 150,000 credits?
Yeah, it's like. But let's be honest, if you've been playing this game all that time anyway, then you already got there, and all this content's still there, even if you don't have a lot of money. It's like, I mean, literally, like the most expensive thing in the game is that the recent expansion, if you will, that they had. It was the first paid bit of DLC. Really, it's like if you want in, you can pay with it in in-game currency, but if not, 15, 16 quid, you can buy this whole pack of stuff. Fair enough. Keep that game going. What, 5 years on now?
Mm-hmm.
But
also, what people don't understand is I joked about the price of like the champagne and stuff, but as you said, if you've been playing since the start, you're gonna have a shit ton of money. And if they price everything when the DLC comes out at like, you could buy the most expensive car for like 300,000, everyone will just buy all the content and then complain. There'll be other complaints saying, there's nothing in the game, we have it all.
You see, this is a good segue because thanks to my dear fellow employees here, gave me lovely gifts as leading gifts, which included Stephen getting me PSN money. I went and bought Grand Theft Auto 5 again for the first time. So and went back into that. Yeah, it's amazing how much stuff I still had, and all this new stuff. I'm just a sucker for a game where you can buy lots of stuff like meaningless shit like clothes and hairstyles. All that. It's like, and there's loads of that. It doesn't cost any proper money really because it's so minuscule and pointless.
And then there's me. New Necros skin came out. How much? 15 quid? Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah, well, mate, it's like I've had Overwatch for 3 weeks. I've spent more on loot boxes than that than I have in any game ever. That's how bad my suckerage gets when it comes to certain types of material. Other than that, I've been playing a few VR things. I played Esper today, which is basically a puzzle game in 3D space where you use your ESP to move objects around to solve puzzles, like blocks and balls and stuff. And yeah, it's really good fun. It's like the narrator in it sounds kind of like Bruce Campbell, so that's a bonus straight away. And yeah, just decent puzzles. It's hard to say beyond playing it, but yeah, it came out earlier this year. I've had it for a while and never got around to playing it. It's really good fun.
Nice.
Less fun, but it was cheap. It was the Carnival Games VR stuff, which automatically assumed I was left-handed, which I'm not, and wouldn't let me change it. And it's like, so I've got to throw everything with my left hand, which is just not, let's be honest. And yeah, it's just, I could, and it just seems so poorly optimized for VR, despite the fact that it's a VR game. Menus for getting out of places are literally behind you, so you need to look the whole way around. And so I get it, you want to use the whole three-dimensional space, but you don't have to. Especially in terms of menus where you're sitting down, you don't really want to do fucking Reagan from The Exorcist and just turn your neck the whole way around to do it.
Really? Now that sounds fun.
Not with my neck, man. Not with my neck. And then lastly, earlier today, I finally got around to playing Wipeout Omega Collection in VR, and wow, that is the most slick and comfortable VR experience I've had so far.
Well, thank you. I'm going to have to buy that then, because I was been worried about it just in case, because the idea of Wipeout in VR sounds good in paper, but then also sounds like it could just be, please insert vomit bag.
It's crazy because you would think that it would be an absolute vom fest, but it's just no. It's cool. You get a bit of sense of speed and elation, but it's really comfortable. It just works so well. Hats off to it, and it just looks so good. And you know what? If you finish a race and you do your laps and stuff, so you can kind of look around the scenery, you can see where the graphics have been toned down a bit to make that easier on the eye. But all the same, it's because it takes the wise choice of having a good art style to make it look good. Then it doesn't have to rely on looking pitch perfect, beautiful sort of thing. And it's amazing stuff to play for it. It just felt natural. I didn't. With most VR games, you get to a point where you're like, stop now because this is just, a bit sick-inducing or give me a headache or whatever. Just, didn't mind, would have carried on and on if I had to go do other things. And I have to say, great fun indeed. I can't wait to get to those trippy modes in that game where tracks are pulsing and all that. That's going to be quite fun. Yeah. I think the way to sort of say it is because you're in like a cockpit anyway, so all enclosed. I don't know, maybe that helps in how everything doesn't feel so disorientating. But I think also it's just nothing really nothing really coming at you in the same way VR games to concentrate on, where they have that gimmick the same as 3D cinema. Where, we're going to have to use this by throwing things at the player. So they're like, oh wow, they actually understand that no, you're just making the most of having a three-dimensional space to sort of live in the environment, not to have shit flung at you, and so you can go, wow, I'm in the game. Woo! Now I'm going to go and puke. And this is why I like it. It's just a great game.
I'm still at the puke point myself. I still can't do VR, so maybe one.
I mean, that's what this is. Yeah, easily one of the best examples I've seen of it in any way, shape, especially on PSVR. So I'm glad that it's understood somewhere. And for something that fast to be made that smooth is just, hats off. Hats off. I think that game has to go down as one of the best.
Well, as they always say, when you go fast, you got to go smooth. You don't want to go too rough.
Smooth is slow, slow is fast, or slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
Yeah, those things. I think that really covers it for me. I end up playing a bit of everything in the end, but they were the main things. Mm-hmm. So, apart from Puyo Puyo Tetris, but again, Switch. So, let's move on to Tim.
Hello.
I think
Tim's asleep.
I'll be able to talk about Anamorphine.
Yes, because
Anamorphics.
by
This
the
is
time we go out Wednesday, so you'll be fine. I did this with the persistent last week.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I've been playing a few other things. Nothing too memorable. Actually, most of my gaming time has been spent watching this new channel that Gary brought me into. It's called Angry Video Game Nerd. It was one of those things on old
Man,
Game Trailers way back in the day.
I think I've heard of it.
I'd never watched him before, and I'm just in love with his content. And I think one of the coolest thing with his stuff has been is that like he has really funny stuff, and he's like super sweary and whatever.
Yeah.
But I think the stuff that's really stuck with me is some of his more like intimate, detailed journeys through things. Like he went to Everfall, and then I watched one last night where he was playing Ghosts and Goblins, and like, those are just really cool episodes. Just because like you see you get the gimmicky frustration stuff, and that's pretty funny. Like I enjoy his sweary delivery, but
My tip for beating Ghosts and Goblins: get the knife. Get the knife.
Get the knife.
Get the knife!
Get the fucking knife.
But
Yes.
it's great, but I just really love it because he spends a lot of time, like when he gets into a game, really gets into it. It's just refreshing for him to, to see somebody get super passionate about something. And
Yeah.
It makes me want to be passionate about those things and check them out and invest more time in some of these things that I've missed out on. And so like the channel has done a lot for me. Like it's made me laugh and it's made me think, and it's quite surprising. I wasn't expecting it from the way that the first episodes delivered the content, but yeah, it's been a fun journey. But apart from that, I've been playing this game that will have come out like that hypothetical future tense. You can enjoy that. Will have come out Tuesday, and it's called Anamorphine. And as somebody who has been dealing with anxiety and depression for the last, I don't know, billions of years, I don't know, clinically the last couple, it's a very moving experience, and it might be one of those games that's a more like relative enjoy, but it really does something in the realm of we're talking about these topics, and what it did for me, being the anxious and depressed person, it really gave me a perspective of the person that wants to help. And that's something that I never really, the word isn't really believed or understood. It's just that it never seemed to have, I don't know, relevancy or something during those dark times. And like everything just seems so isolated. So like everything else around you just doesn't, like you don't seem important to any of it. And do you guys... I don't know if you've read the thing I wrote, but do you guys care about some spoilers? I don't want to do too much.
Keep it lightish. Just,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since the topic is depression, we know that one of the things that comes with it is shutting out those you love, and like you see it and you hear about it a lot, and like even in my perspective, it's one of those things that kind of just seemed hypothetical, but the way that this game delivers some of those things, like literal metaphors in doing them, it's kind of insane, the effect. Like literal, like in this game, for instance, literal doors get closed on you.
Yeah.
And like doors with complete with frame, like there's no wall or anything, like it just appears and shuts on you. And it's that kind of way that the game visually delivers things that just, it's so potent and poignant, and it really helped me get kind of a perspective on things where, especially it made me think of Crystal. Like the game has flaws, like it has some inherent flaws, but it's mechanical flaws. But I don't want to say it's to the point of like The Last Guardian, where technical flaws kind of feel endearing, but it's kind of in the same ballpark. Like when you get to the end, you kind of go, well, you know, like real life is a bunch of struggles, right? And it's not going to be timely, and it's not going to be convenient, and it fits into that metaphor really well. But as a game, it becomes kind of monotonous. And if it were like a streamlined experience, like for instance, Hellblade, you know, that one-shot thing, there was no loading, it was all one thing. But this game suffers greatly from long and common load screens. Just incessant. It's incessant, and it's crazy, and like all the other, and it has some like choppiness in it too, and it's frustrating. But I mean, it's you can look at it as a metaphorical thing, but I feel like improving those things would make the game so much better. Like, you really shouldn't be trying to justify the game to emphasize the focus, which is kind of what's going on in that kind of outlook. But yeah, I mean, it can get the same effect, but really, if the game were just allowed to be what it is, instead of having to go through these mechanical hoops instead of emotional ones, I feel like it would be a more pristine package.
So
a good story marred by unpleasant gameplay.
yes, yeah, basically that. It's they're trying to make too much of a game of it, a traditional game of it, where they probably should focus more on the story and just go for that narrative adventure, if you will, rather than that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a common,
and I wouldn't say that's necessarily true either, because everything is compounded into like this one thing. Like, you don't have like an aside to do these things. Like, everything is connected in that, so you don't have like you've seen this cutscene, now you just have to walk over there to the next thing. Like, everything you interact with and see pertains to the scenario and the situation. So it's not necessarily that divide, but it's just that mechanical hindrance that keeps it from a full immersion. Because there were plenty of times I would get invested, like, again, because you kind of had, for me especially, as an experience, you had to get reinvested after you get to that frustration, right? Like, no matter, like, my perspective is a little biased just because I'm very familiar, but like, if you're invested in a scenario and then you get hit with a load screen and then like a hiccup or something, it cuts you off and you have to get reinvested again. And like, something like this, like what they were trying to do, doesn't deserve that. The game needs to be better in that end. Like, it needs to be clean, it needs to be free flowing, and like, just let it tell the story it's trying to tell instead of interrupting it. And just the game itself just needs to be more conveniently accessible so that everything in it can be narratively delivered.
Well, all right.
Good stuff. Anything else? Or was that the load?
Well, no, I guess I downloaded Van Helsing, but we haven't started that yet.
I still need to get that. Yes, yeah. I know I said I'd play it with you and Gary, so I still need to pick that up.
Gary said he'd play with us too, so I added it to the folder.
To the games Gary won't play with me folder.
I love that folder.
I do too.
I have a whole PlayStation with that.
Games I won't play with myself.
Yeah, games that are multiplayer.
Isn't that just a Steam account?
Hashtag.
The most interaction I get with my Steam account these days, the message every other day saying we've had access, you blah blah, and it's like, yeah, someone from Russia trying to get my account again.
I've been having that with my Epic Games account too. Yeah, it's the Fortnite. I read a little bit about it. Apparently, they're trying to find Fortnite accounts that they can steal right now, and I've been getting a bunch of those from Epic too for the Your password. I already changed it and everything, but it's still annoying. Set up two-part verification if you can. If anybody else is having problems with that.
Oh yeah, I constantly have somebody trying to get into mine.
Oh, I know. I believe it, Tim.
But I have it all. I have it the verification stuff, so it's just kind of hysterical to see them try.
It's the same with Ubisoft as well. It's just like suspicious activity. It's always a different country as well, which is just laughable. It's like, what are you doing? You're just traveling around the world to see if you can get in. It's cheaper than come and ask me. Say, hey, I want to use your Ubisoft account. Fine. So,
yeah, I mean that's that's pretty much it. Kind of tangentially related, really quick. A lot of that stuff is happening with like phone scams and things like that. Grandma scams. A lot of I know personally, my mother has been plagued really by telemarketing scams. Saying they say things like, "Grandma, I'm in jail. I need money," or "You owe money for an old IRS account." It's just you got to protect yourself as best you can. I'm doing everything I can to protect her, but she's old. She doesn't understand technology. Yeah. Why are these people doing it to me? Well, they're criminals. They're people. They call everywhere. They cast a wide net, and unfortunately, people fall for it, and that's why they keep doing it. And we just need to stay one step ahead and learn to protect ourselves.
For me, it's always the people that phone up and say, "We're your ISP. It seems you've had some weird activity coming from your account." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And they're like, "Oh, but can you go to your PC and check some stuff for us?" Now, when you do that, they give you they make you open command prompt so that they can take access to your PC to install something, so that you then have to pay money to get rid of it.
Yep. Fucking ransomware.
Yeah, pretty much.
And people fall for it.
I'm like, "No, I'm good."
Next time they call you, just be like, "I'm taking the dump right now. I can't get to my computer."
I can't get to my computer. Yes.
So,
I'll admit though, I was very proud of myself this week in a way. You know those charity people that come up to you? Yeah, I said, I support so-and-so charity. What about, do you want to donate? I'm like, nah. I was like, because I already do donate to a few other charities. I'm like, do this. Where do you go? I'm like, yeah, I'm from PSU. Basically Universe. Go check us out at psu.com. Go check our podcast at psu.podbean.com.
No, oh my god, yes, man, that is amazing.
Well, if you're going to try and sell me something, fuck it, I'll do the same.
Anyway, yes.
So if you're the stranger that was in Scarborough last week that was listening to and actually did come to listen, hello.
If you got this far, then you deserve to have more people listen to you on the street at this point. Because you've got the patience done.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's round off with Gary.
See. Mostly I've been playing a title called Remothered Tormented Fathers.
Oh, yes. And how is that?
It's a survival horror game.
Is it mother-free?
Game. It's not mother-free.
Mother-free, remothered. Yeah, sorry. Survival horror game, yes.
But it's mostly just a survival game. Like, it's not that scary. So yeah, it's essentially kind of like a clock tower game for those who played that, where you pretty much you're being stalked by a demented person, pretty much trying to escape from this mansion that you're in. So starts off with this woman who is looking for this girl who went missing. Her name was Celeste. Decides to go visit her home, which is this big giant mansion, and her father is there with his wife, and she wants to pretty much know what happened, and she does it in a disguise of being a doctor who follow up on reports of abuse that he had suffered at a hospital that he was in. She reported. So she's kind of following up on those, pretending to be like part of the part of the hospital to help him out. And then she starts asking questions about Celeste. And he gets really angry, and he starts talking about another woman called Jennifer, which confuses the hell out of her because, as far as they knew, he only had one daughter that was Celeste. So she gets kicked out of the house by his what's it called? The nurses that kind of just stay at your house to help you out.
Carers, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. And she kind of decides to hang back and watch where the nurse lady leaves the spare key behind when she leaves, which she does. She grabs the key, she sneaks in the house. A bunch of crazy shit starts happening, and she kind of discovers a lot of stuff. Because the story itself is actually really good. It's also a very tragic story and a very messed up story. Not just when it comes to Celeste and what happened to her, but kind of what happened to her dad and her mom. Pretty much everybody that's involved in the story. The only problem that I found with the story myself is that it people won't really understand unless they read like the news clippings and the files that they find in the environment, mostly the collectible stuff, which has a lot of backstory to what's going on. Because there's some that I missed, and there's a scene that happened. I was like, I don't get it. I later found those clippings and stuff because you're pretty much in this giant mansion and you're trying to get out, but you can't because it's all gated off, so yeah, you're pretty much being stalked by a killer, and you can defend yourself. You can get a defense item. You can only carry one of those at a time. Like if they grab you, you can stab them, stunning them, and then run away from them to hide. So you can hide in closets, hide under sofas, things like that. It works just fine. As long as they don't see you hide, they won't know where you are. It also kind of hurts it because if you played a game like Clock Tower, which was a much older game back on the SNES and even on the PS1, they would search locations, hideable locations. These guys don't really search. Approach to where you're hiding, and you have to kind of keep, the circle inside this sphere, pretty much, and you can't let it leave. If you do, then you'll make a sound, and they'll know where you are.
Yeah, so is it as good as Clock Tower, or?
That's the thing. Clock Tower, the original two were pretty much 2D games with 3D sprites and stuff. So it's a much different beast. I feel like it's a lot more tension-filled when you can only go one of two ways, whereas here you can go wherever you want because it's 3D.
So is it third person or first person? Sorry, I'm just trying to picture.
It's third person.
Okay, so it's what was I was thinking Outlast, but there's actually another game that does that, and I played it recently. Sorry to interject. I was just curious about it, if it's because it sounds like something that like people like Neil and I who love horror and that would definitely be in.
Like some sort of Slender Man thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was going to joke saying, "You sure you were playing the game?" And was it just Chris following you to work?
Oh, I'm going to do that one of these days, Gary. You're going to you come outside, and you're going to think you saw something behind a tree, and you're going to drive to work, and you're going to see me in your rearview mirror, and then turn around, and I'm not there.
I already do that.
The psychosis is getting strong.
But yeah, you can throw objects to distract them as they're searching around the halls and stuff like that. Another problem I had was kind of the sound design, which in general is really good. The only problem is when you're near the person looking for you, you can't really tell where they are. Headset as well, and you can hear them very clearly, but you don't know if they're floor, if they're on the first floor of the mansion, if they're in a room right next to you. Like, it was very hard for me to determine where they were to avoid them. A lot of problems where I'm kind of just sneaking by, and all of a sudden they just appear coming up the stairs from downstairs.
So there was no sort of gauge or radar or minimap or anything, or
that's
like splitter cell that you could track them?
No, because it's supposed to use the sound to kind of dictate where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Could tell, like, their voices were very faint, so I knew they were far away. But the closer I got to them, like, I'd open the door to the hallway, right? And they're not there. And I'm like, where the hell are they? Because I can still clearly hear them. That they were on a floor beneath me, or on the floor on top of me.
It sounds like it's a problem with the sound design then. If that they didn't really do it, well enough to make it fun. Make it it's frustrating instead.
And I remember because I was talking with Tim sometimes when I was playing a game, and I think Tim can vouch how much I complain about, where the hell is this guy? I can hear him, but I can't see him. Yeah.
On a similar tangent, Gary, as you played the shit out of it, did you ever find that the case in Far Cry 5 sometimes, when you're sneaking around? Where you just don't know where the voices are coming from. Like, I mean, further and further away from...
You'll see that too. You're like, where the hell is this guy? I can hear him, but I don't see him.
Remember, we played the co-op and heard that woman screaming, and we wandered around for a good 10 minutes trying to find out where the sound was coming from in the woods by that ranch. And it was we could never find her.
It was all he's here. It's like, okay, well, not moving, and you've got no closer for the last 5 minutes. So, so he's here. It's just someone just ringing a bell. Is he saying he's here?
Crazy.
Poor people.
He's here.
But the death animations are pretty brutal. The voice work for the most part is really good. The main character though that you play with, I don't remember her name now.
Let's call her Amelia for now.
Literally modeled exactly like Jodie Foster as Clarice from Silence of the Lamb.
Mm.
Just like her, she has the same hair. She even has like the deep voice that Jodie Foster has too in that movie. So it's like they literally modeled her after her.
Interesting.
Yeah, and like the other characters are voiced pretty well, but it seems like she's trying to mimic Jodie Foster as much as she can. Not succeeding very well.
So let me ask you this, Gary. I'm just curious, because you reviewed Agony as well. What is it better than Agony at least? Because it sounds similar in some regards. It's
a good game. Like it has issues, and I think the issues stem from the fact that this is an indie game. This is this studio's first video game that they've ever made. Comes from the fact that they tried so hard to make a AAA game as an indie studio. Feels like, it feels like one of those games where a big studio, like a big AAA studio, would be working on a game and it'll take them like 15 years to finally release it. And when it finally comes out, it's
what?
It's nothing.
It's Duke Nukem?
Is that the fun? Is that the joke?
Beautiful. Wonderful execution, Gary. I love it.
God damn it. No, it just feels like they tried too hard to show everybody that they're a AAA studio when they're not. Could have succeeded better if they would have made it feel more like an indie game, because they try to make it feel too much like a AAA game.
That was the peril of Hello Games and Fire. Just a team of 15 people, having a game hyped up to the point where it was like people treating it as if it was a AAA game, which it clearly wasn't. So that ambition outstripped what they could actually do at launch. You got a balance.
In game design, it's called scope. Yep, and you never want your scope to be bigger than you can handle. It's one thing they drilled into our heads, right, Gary?
Sometimes bigger isn't better.
I think if you have the ability to mask it well, because a lot of games, that are smaller that make it seem bigger are very good at
Phrasing.
They use certain mechanics and certain visual tricks,
Certain camera angles.
to make things seem bigger than they are. It's like
oh yeah, but that's joking aside, it's very. It's about the importance of scope. Isn't it better to have a small, high quality project, even if it's like a half-hour game? It doesn't matter if it's high quality and you put all of your efforts into the important things and you trimmed away the fat, so you have a nice, lean, clean-looking, well taken care of game to release. That's better than grabbing 30 default assets from the Unreal Engine, loosely cobbling together a game and then releasing that and winning, a Game of the Year nomination. There's the big, but that's a big difference in the scope, because obviously you get better quality if you have your scope right. And I think
and
companies forget that.
Yeah, very true.
But it's a good game. It's not the best game of that type of. Like another thing I had an issue with was, like, from the outside, the mansion is enormous. It kind of looks like the Spencer mansion, size-wise, from Resident Evil. It's like infinitely small. Like, it's 3 floors.
Phrasing.
It's getting better.
It's 3 floors, right? But in these 3 floors, there is maybe 3 rooms you can go into each one.
So it's like the opposite of the TARDIS.
So small inside, yeah, but so large on the outside. In some rooms
that's one tight fit.
That you can't even get into. Like, there's doors, but they're locked. You can't get into them at all. Overall, it's a good game, but there's some stuff that could have worked on. Like, she's always wearing her purse in the game. Thing. She always has her purse on her. It's like, I think that's the least of your worries, is your fucking purse. But during cutscenes and stuff, she doesn't have the purse. A cutscene would end with, like, the killer, like, breaking into the room that she's in, and then you have to go into a chase sequence where you have to run away from it. And all of a sudden, the purse is on her shoulder again, when it wasn't in the cutscene. I'm like,
because
well, Gary, if it's important to you, it must be important to her.
It wasn't important to her because she never looked into the goddamn purse at all one time.
Quick question I want to ask you, Gary, since things like this get brought up all the time. You mentioned death scenes. Mortal Kombat good, or like how like gory are we talking here? My dark side needs to know.
Mostly like serial killer and kills. Like, she gets stabbed in the head with a sickle. She gets pierced through the eye with a big ass rod sword thing.
Oh, okay, yeah. So similar to like the Friday the 13th executions. Yeah. That were my favorite part of I never played the game, but watching the game be played and watching the executions was always fun. On that, very sad to hear that they're having issues with the licensing.
Yeah, still updating. Just can't add any content, basically. Just
and we can't get a new movie because of it either.
Yeah. That's why half of them don't show up on streaming services. Because of that. That's what, apart from 5, of course, which notoriously doesn't have any Jason in it. So, yeah, there's that. Just looking at screenshots of this game now, you want to talk about that Jodie Foster thing. It's down.
There's a lot of times where I thought there is a supernatural element happening in the game, but they did a very good job of explaining those moments.
Okay, so yeah, just sort of giving you that.
It was the janitor.
Old man.
Old man.
But pretty good game. From what I gathered, I had been reading up on the game a lot because I was following it for a while. I thought they gave up on the plan to do this because they were originally going to make it an episodic game.
Yeah.
But it feels more like this is a complete game, but they are still planning to make it a trilogy. overall, the story does wrap up in the best way that it can here. So I don't know where they're gonna go, if they're still planning to do it as a trilogy or not.
Very nice.
Good game, not a great game, but very passable for an indie title. So
yeah, I think it averages around 72 on all platforms. So yeah, that's not bad. Not bad for what it is. By the sound of it, it's better than Agony. That's all that matters. That's the bar.
Is Agony? Yeah, is Agony the new bar for shitty horror games? Like, is
I think
this
so.
where we're at now?
Because that game is very agonizing to play, dude. It was no pun intended there, but that game.
Your pun turns me on, Gary. Not gonna lie.
That game is really hard to play, not just because wise, because I feel like you get very desensitized to the content of orgies and rape happening in that game. Like, he's like, oh, another random dude getting raped in the background, like 17 times in like an hour. Like, oh my god, I just want to move on. And it's just super dark, not like dark as in quality or content dark, but just like
literally dark,
dark as shit. I sent you guys a picture. I remember this, and it's just like this pitch black room, and I don't know, I can't see shit. Where am I supposed to go?
Yeah, your gamma settings were at max, and you couldn't see a damn thing on there. It was just I didn't know what I was looking at first, and then I slightly saw the faint glimmer of light on like a cave wall. It looked like, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, that's dark. That's stupid. You don't do that.
I might point out, by the way, that Past Cure is probably the worst game of horror elements this year. It, fixed or not, that game was just a bomb.
They sold you with the trailers on that game, though.
Yeah, they did.
Stop selling that game to you.
Well, I rented it, so you know that's the fun I got out of that. What a strange game. Anyway, yes, I think that ends us really, doesn't it, for the week? So Gary, as you were still talking, you might as well do your shout-outs and things.
Shout out to you guys, family, friends. Chris, thanks for playing some Gloomhaven yesterday. That was fun.
So awesome. Gloomhaven. Look it up, Gloomhaven. It was one of the best games I've ever played, and I can't wait to play more.
Oh, yeah. You can reach me at Gaglaush, that's Gaglaush.
Yeah. And anything else?
No. Shout out to Fonzie. I'm going to miss you today. I know you're not going to be on the anime podcast. Thanks for the video message you sent us. That was awfully nice of you.
Yeah. Very nice. It was a rare treat. So, Tim.
Everybody, Gary, for that wonderful Metal Gear 2 conversation we had this week. Ben, for calling me a sexy beast in our Discord chat. A sexual beast, excuse me. I didn't mean to degrade your nomenclature. Chris, for being just the sexual deviant you are, and dealing with my weird questions about things we won't discuss on podcast.
Yes, believe it or not, there are things that we do not discuss on this podcast, and this subject is one of them, and I won't even say what it is. So
the thing is that we have standards; we just won't talk about them. Neil, miss you already.
They're talking about the fourth kind. Go look it up.
Fourth kind.
Fuck me.
It's a good supernatural reference.
I thought you were talking about a really shit film. But yeah, fair enough.
That is bad. That movie, by the way.
Yes.
Listeners, of course, you're always the best. Fonzie, you're a beautiful man. Thanks for the video chat.
That's it.
Or the video message.
That's it. Ben.
I'd like to shout out to Klaus, Nightbringer at Phoenix Down Radio. I'd like to shout out to Maelstrom Radio at twitch.tv/radio. Shout out to She Hills I Tank at twitch.tv/She Hills I Tank. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a shout out too. Next Wednesday for 24 hours from 8 PM BST to 8 PM BST, I will be live streaming Overwatch, Warframe, Final Fantasy 14 on twitch.tv/PSU Live. I will have an Extra Life link to the Phoenix Down Radio Extra Life, where if you donate money, I will put myself in physical pain so that you can watch it live on Twitch, where I will be eating different types of chocolates. I have some Ghost Pepper sweets, and I have some Carolina Reaper sweets. So if you want to put me in pain...
Wait. Are we going to see you put yourself through torture at the beginning or at the end of eating those treats?
I'll be having the camera on as well, so you can watch all of it live during the live stream. I have some orange Ghost Pepper, lemon Ghost Pepper, and lime Carolina Reaper. So,
word, that'll be fun. Definitely fun. Just be careful where you put your hands afterwards, eh? That's the main problem.
Yeah,
I'm excited for Ben's Olympics here.
What about you, Chris?
All my friends. That includes you, lovely, lovely people, and Fonzie as well. Can't wait to talk to you again. Gonna miss you, buddy. The fans out there, the listeners that still listen to us and enjoy listening to our insane but somehow in-depth and endearing conversations. And of course my family who love and support me in all of this. Catch me on Twitter at Devangel, Devangiel, and I'm going to go watch some more anime.
That's not a bad shout, I suppose. Yeah, as ever, I'd say the same thank yous to everyone. Please follow Pod at Pod Unchained, _ Unchained, sorry, on Twitter. And, rate, review on iTunes if you can. Fantastic. That would be lovely. And tell us if you have any questions or queries or whatever about the show. It's always fun too. We will be back next week with more talk about video games. Shocking, I know, but that is in there sometimes. And I'm sure there'll be the other stuff that you so much enjoy as well, which is usually the lewd content. Definitely a big part of this show for now. So, until next week, it is customary for me to sign off with a tatty bye. So, tatty bye.